What you are listening to is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in the squared circle. Both parties have agreed to dismiss their cases and have their disputes settled here in our forum, the Turnbuckle Debate.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turnbuckle Debate. My name is Sneed.
I'm Chad.
I'm Tom, the OG Fit Kid, the staple of the Turnbuckle Debate.
And our guest joining us today, fresh from the Kentucky State Fair, Mr. Colton Jessie. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Doing good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you on, man. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, man. Loyal listener of the flagship. You guys can follow him at mullet.mania on Instagram. We're stoked to have you here, dude. Called the hotline a few weeks ago. We reached out. Hey, come on the show. See, guys, that's what, if you leave a message on the hotline, you might get a request to come on the debate. Just another reason to call the hotline, 304-404-2004.
I don't know. Is it a reward or a punishment that they have to come on and talk to Tom?
Hey,
Hey, it's a reward. These guys are being way too nice. I totally shot my shot. I was like, hey, if you need a guest for the debate, I'm in.
We love talking to people.
Yeah,
I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and if it's about wrestling, even better.
Even better.
right.
Yeah. Well, cool. We have 3 topics. I know you, Colton, you brought one to the table. We'll do 10 to 15 minutes on each topic. And if you guys don't have any questions or comments and don't care what Tom says, we'll get going.
Let's do it.
All right.
Go.
First question of the evening. What does Cody's future look like under the WWE's new regime? So Cody Rhodes came in. He made his return at WrestleMania. Vince was still in power. Cody got hurt. He's gone. Well, what happens now since he's been gone and Vince is gone?
Man, this is interesting. I honestly don't know. Like, are they going to continue that build he got? I would think so. Does Triple H think the same as Cody as Vince and Bruce did? They went and they wined and dined him to get him back and said, we want to keep you exactly the way you are. I don't know. Like, it throws a whole new monkey wrench into everything. I think they would still have to go with the push, but I mean, I'm just totally flabbergasted by this because it's like just a storm. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is Vince was the one to make the deal. So how does Triple H feel about the Codester? Cody was coming up in that company as a youngin' when Triple H was still kind of full-fledged part of the roster, doing his thing.
Yep.
What's that relationship like? Now, here's the thing. I don't see Triple H being a guy who's going to blow up something like a Vince McMahon would. So I would highly doubt that he would job him out or send him to mid-card hell. I think Triple H saw, because let's be honest, even though it was the Vince McMahon regime, Cody was getting over. I mean, the fans loved him. Like that was a big
WrestleMania pop was unreal. Like,
exactly.
When
he came out of Mania, like people loved that dude. So I think Triple H stays the course, and I think he sees a potential top guy, and I think he sticks with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely uncertain, but I feel like it'd be stupid not to keep him as a franchise player. I mean, it got me to start watching WWE again. And I mean, I'd sworn it off like a lot of you guys had for a long time, but I think, I mean, he's definitely still, getting a big pop. I'm sure when he returns, it's going to be huge. I mean, there is that question of, there's a little heat thrown Triple H's way, especially when Cody first made the jump. I mean, you remember I think you guys were probably at that show where he actually took the sledgehammer and broke the throne on his head going out of the ring. But I mean, how much of that is, kayfabe and how much of that is real heat between those two guys? I guess we'll never really know. But I don't know. I mean, I think his future is still pretty bright. I was talking to a buddy at the gym yesterday. I was like, man, Cody comes back. I can't wait to see like a fucking. I would love to see a Cody KO, like heel KO.
Oh, yeah.
that'd be great.
That would be great. That would be great.
Listen, we know Hunter loves the history of wrestling and he loves Dusty Rhodes. He's going to do right by him. I think he's going to continue with the push, but it'll be fun to see. I mean, never did Cody imagine when he was destroying that throne that in just a couple of years, his boss was going to be that guy who was sitting on that throne.
Exactly. Or would that guy be sitting on that throne at that point when he went back?
Yeah. And, you know, who's to say, which I think that they continue with the push, but who knows what's in that contract that he signed?
Right.
You know, that whatever was in the contract is going to be honored. So
it seemed like a pretty ironclad contract too.
From the way it sounded like they sat down and they ironed out exactly to the T, and maybe so he doesn't get jobbed out, you know,
right.
Maybe there's something in there. Who knows? You know, I still feel like after that's done, that there's a little vindictiveness that's going to come in with Triple H. I just feel like he's going to do, I don't know. I feel like there's a little heat between them still. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Vince has been known to be that way. And I think Triple H is kind of everyone loves Triple H, but at the same time, the way Triple H jobbed out Sting at Mania, the guy gets his first match ever at Mania and Triple H has to go over. I'm still hot about that.
That was the worst.
Pissed me off. But talking about, you know, Colton bringing up the smashing of the throne. Here's the thing that's funny to me about that. And Tom, you mentioned, would he have known at that time that was going to be his boss several years from now? Well, what did Cody do as soon as he signed with WWE? And all these interviews, he's talking about, my favorite wrestler's Triple H.
Oh yeah.
It's like, exactly. I'm wondering, like, is that the truth? Or you just, because let's be honest, Cody is a very smart guy when it comes to his wordplay and trying to verbally work a situation. And to me, it really came across as trying to butter his bread a little bit.
Well, what he's doing, he's trying to solidify he's trying to make sure and make certain that people know that he is a big fan of these guys and that he loves them because he knows the history of the McMahons and the Runnels family.
Yep.
For sure.
He knows that Vince hated Dusty.
Well, that's the big thing, you know, that's what makes this so interesting. If it was just any other main event AEW guy coming over to WWE, I don't think there's much to this question because you're going to push a top guy. Well, it would be dumb. Like Colton said, it's dumb to take away a top guy from you when he's right there.
Yeah.
But like the Rhodes, it's a different animal. There was always these subtle shots being taken. The whole, what was it? Lay it out, Sneed. What was all
with Virgil
between
Virgil and Vince?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when $1 Million Man had Virgil, so Vince created this character, Virgil,
a manservant, pretty much.
Manservant. And then Virgil goes to WCW, and Dusty names him Vincent.
Yeah, and Virgil is Dusty's shoot name.
Virgil Runnels, yeah. So Virgil was a pawn between the two of them. But,
and not to mention, he takes a son of a plumber, one of the top fucking guys in NWA, sends him to WWE, he goes to WWE or WWF, and he puts him in fucking polka dots. I mean, who does that shit?
And who gets it over? Dusty gets it over, and it's the biggest thing at WWF at the time. So
puts him in there with Sweet Sapphire.
So listen, Triple H is the one who mended that fence and got Dusty into NXT. We know what Triple H thinks about Dusty. Without Triple H, is there a Dusty statue access I don't think so.
No.
I think that's all Hunter's doing.
Do you think Hunter has that reverence to Cody that he does for Dusty? I don't think so.
No, but I don't think he wants to disrespect his father. And
exactly. And I think out of respect just for Dusty, like, I don't think he's gonna. I mean, who knows? I mean, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. So maybe Trips is going to be looking a little different 12 months from now after being in the sitting in the captain's chair. But I don't know. I just don't see it. I think with as much respect as him and also Sean has for his dad, like, I mean, maybe they'll pull some equivalent of putting him in some fucking polka dots at some point. But, so be it. If Cody's as good as his old man, he'll get it over just like Dusty did. So,
listen, I wish I could have been in a trailer at WrestleMania when Triple H went in there to talk to Cody, when nobody really knew he was there, and to listen to that conversation. Cody referenced it, but the truth is we have no clue what was said. Cody's like, oh yeah, it was like good friends just seeing each other again for the first time. We don't know what was really said. Maybe Hunter loved it. Maybe Hunter loved them destroying the throne. I could see Hunter.
I think I don't think there's vindictiveness like in Triple H like there is in Vince. I really don't. I know he's known in history to be someone who politics. Him and Sean and the Clique, they were known for stepping on people to get to the top. But when it comes to being a student of the game, I always go back to, I love Triple H. He was one of my favorites as a kid. I really, as a teenager, I should say. But man, that WWE documentary they did on Triple H, I think it was called Thy Kingdom Come, I believe. That documentary made me an even bigger fan. And I know it's company propaganda. They're pushing this guy up, but you really get a window into how big of a fan of legit pro wrestling Trips is. Like NWA, he grew up on the old school stuff. He's a student of Ric Flair. I think he realizes if he were to do something like that, it's not, wrestling is bigger than him. Wrestling's bigger than Triple H, and he knows that would hurt the business. And I honestly believe that Triple H is trying to improve pro wrestling. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree 100%.
I was just reading here. There was an interview, and I was trying to read where Cody noted that he still was angry at Triple H. There was an interview, I guess back in April, that he gave where he said that, you guys can go look it up, but he said, also, I admit that I was very, very angry. The anger remains as far as how we saw each other, how he saw me and what I wanted to do. Talking about his first run with WWE, I wanted to channel that anger differently. So, but he goes into talk about
so essentially what that makes me think is in that first run, Triple H probably didn't see him as a top guy.
Yeah.
But I think Cody went to New Japan, went to ROH, started AEW. He proved that he can be a top guy.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I don't know, maybe I can see, a little bit from Triple H's perspective is like when he came into the company, like he didn't come in as the fucking game, he came in as like a stuffed shirt fucking aristocrat. Like, tough shit. Just because you're Dusty's son doesn't mean you get to come in here and, be the American Nightmare right off the bat. So, like, I mean, I could see Triple H's side of that for a little bit, for sure.
Everybody has to start as a terrorizing, man.
Right.
Everybody has to start there.
What was it? It was terrorizing. Then he went to, was it
I think he just went to Paul Levesque.
It was Paul Levesque.
For a while.
And it was Hunter Hearst. It was the Hunter Hearst Helmsley gimmick, but in WCW.
In WCW. Yeah.
Right. So Terrorizing was in WWF, right? Or was that WCW?
WCW.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep. So
God, what a fucking awful name.
Terra.
ERRA.
Right. RY. Come on, man. Perfect character to come out on Saturday Night Main Event.
Oh, yeah. Count me in.
All right. Does anybody have any final thoughts before we move on to our second topic?
I don't think we got that one.
All right. So our second topic of the evening. Now, Colton, this is the topic that you brought to the table. Long term, does Vince's sexual misconduct do more harm or good to the pro wrestling business as a whole? So I'll defer to you to go first on this one.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I think obviously it's not Nobody likes hearing about that. I mean, he's done. I mean, I think it's no secret to wrestling fans that like Vince is in real life probably a pretty fucking awful dude. So I don't think anybody is really surprised to hear that this has come out. And I mean, obviously we're seeing the benefits of it as fans right now, seeing, Triple H taking over the product. Like, we're only a few weeks in and people are already enjoying it more. My worry is that like this will be a black eye to the pro wrestling business as a whole. And I think a lot of times when, you guys have talked about it before across multiple shows, like, pro wrestling hasn't always been taken seriously in the mainstream media, let alone sports, just general news or anything. But, Wall Street Journal is taking a hold of this. We've already heard that like Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel is going to have a deep dive into this. Like, people eat this kind of shit up. So yeah. I'm expecting a lot of eyes to come in that are, don't know anything about the pro wrestling world. And like, I mean, obviously I want this guy to get his due and be held accountable. But at the same time, like, I'm worried that maybe long-term it might end up doing more harm to the sport, or, if you want, to pro wrestling as a whole. I worry that it might be a little bit of a black eye, and people who are not necessarily people who are just like, oh, that shit's fake, right? Like, oh, now it's fake and it's run by rapists. Sick.
Well, yeah.
I mean, mainly just because, there's a lot of wrestling outside of Vince McMahon, but for the average layperson, Vince McMahon's been the face of wrestling, like you said, Chad, for 40 years, for your entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think real quick, Tom, I think there's two ways this is going to affect pro wrestling as a whole. I think for those people that are saying, is that fake shit? Is that those people, the outsiders, the non-fans, when they think of pro wrestling, they think of steroids. They think of the Chris Benoit murders.
Yeah.
They think of the shit that gets so much mainstream headlines. It pops up on fucking Larry King Live, and you have wrestlers coming on to defend the profession itself from head trauma with Chris Benoit, with the steroid trial in the early 90s. I think that's what those people look at, and this is just going to be another black eye, another nail in the coffin of the thing we all love, pro wrestling, to those type of people. Now, for the fans, even just the casuals and the hardcores, especially like us, this is great for pro wrestling as a whole, because this just sped up the thing that needed to happen for a long time. And that's fresh blood in the Booker man chair at WWE.
Yeah.
Vince has been, everyone knows we wouldn't be here as fans. We probably wouldn't be talking to each other if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. Everyone said that. Everyone feels like they have to say that caveat, but let's be honest. The guy's been out of touch for a long fucking time. His booking was terrible. He made me stop watching a product that I watched my entire life. His booking, his shit decisions. And I love the man for what he gave me as a fan, but dude, you're old. You're out of touch. Your booking sucked. Time to move on. He was going to die in the chair if he wasn't forced out by something like this. So I'm glad that paralegal got mouthy. I'm glad someone leaked this to the Wall Street Journal. Triple H is in there. It's instantly made it more interesting. I'm tuning back in. I'm watching with a closer eye. I think this is great for wrestling fans, and it's just another kind of stain for the people that want to shit on pro wrestling anyways.
But those people are always going to shit on pro wrestling.
There's no winning those people over.
If it's not Vince doing that, then they're going to dig up something on somebody else to have new, new ammo to come at, to come at it. So, I mean, in that regard, you're right. Like, let them say what the fuck they're going to say.
It ain't going to change.
No, they're always going to have the same argument.
I mean, honestly, dude, if you're still beating the "it's fake" drum, you're a fucking moron. Let's be honest. Like, do you think the fan base that generates millions and millions and millions of dollars for this industry are sitting there thinking, "Man, I can't believe that guy can do"? Like, do you think people think it's real? We all know,
dude. I've had people within the past few months tell me when I've met somebody new, I've had them say, well, you know that's fake, right?
God, I hate that.
Every time somebody does that to me, I look at them with a dead stare and I'm like, what? And I just play into it like, fake?
That's the best response.
I don't even fuck with them anymore. I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, I do. I just can't help it.
Okay.
Listen, I always use the fucking bait, man. I'm like, well, yeah, it's predetermined, but it's a fucking contact sport, 100%.
I'm with you, Colton. I'm with you, Colton. I'm the asshole that goes into this dissertation and feels like I have to fucking defend the entire industry. Yeah, every time.
Like, listen,
well, look at this Tope Suicida.
I'm pulling up fucking Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell. Oh, does that look fake? Does that look fake?
Just fake. That's a slap.
That's a good point. I just like making them feel dumb by acting like, what are you talking about? It's fake. And they just don't know what to say at that point because they don't know if I'm acting or not. But no, listen, the mainstream media hasn't latched on to the story like they do with major stories that, like, if this was the NFL commissioner,
if this was Roger Goodell,
that would be all over the place. They haven't latched on. Every little detail is not on the headline news every single night. I think it's going to be just another bump in the road, and in the end, it's like Chad said, it's much better for WWE. It's so much better getting Vince out of there. Again, we love Vince for what he did in the 80s. He's been out of touch for so long. Raw doesn't seem like an 8-hour show anymore. It's 3 hours goes by a lot faster than it did just 3 months ago.
You know why? You know why? Because he's letting them fucking wrestle.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're having 18, 20-minute matches instead of like 20 2-minute matches.
Yeah, an hour into the show this week, we were still in the second match, and they were double-digit matches, like double-digit minute matches.
So let me ask you guys a quick question. And what do you think Thanksgiving dinner is going to be like this year at the McMahon's, knowing that, you know, they're basically shitting on a lot of what Vince McMahon's beliefs were right on his show. Like the wrestlers are doing it, saying I'm a wrestler in a wrestling ring. Is McMahon just washed his hand of it and he's done with it? Or like, I would love to know what that family.
It's eating him alive.
But he's the only one that's eating alive. Everybody else, that Thanksgiving dinner, he's gonna be the old man that has some crotchety shit to say that nobody cares about, nobody pays attention to, and he's gonna sit over there and mumble it under his breath, and he'll be like, "Well, Pop's talking shit." Pop's over there listen at babbling.
So true.
And that's what it's gonna be because nobody else sees it the way he does. It's good. It sounds weird, but man, he died early because this basically killed him off. And the only way, like you said, that we were going to get this is if he died in a chair. And with this fucking maniac's workout routine, who knows how long he would have lived.
I know.
Bruce Pritchard said he thought he could live to 120. So,
good God.
So like he died early for us, and that sounds bad, but that's a good thing for professional wrestling.
It's a gift for wrestling fans.
Oh yeah, I mean, it says a lot that the week he was gone, all of a sudden those terrible camera cuts were gone.
Dude, yeah.
Michael Cole sounded better than he ever has in his life.
I mean, we can all talk about like they're saying words that Vince banned, you know, the wrestling pro wrestler, they're saying that, and that's all fun. But the thing that cracks me up the most is like Triple H instantly rehires all of these people.
Everybody can that AEW hasn't picked up.
Instantly, like he's brought Road Dogg back in behind the scenes. He's carrying Cross, Gargano, Hit Row.
He lets Johnny Gargano keep his name on the main roster. That was something Vince had just put away with. So
instantly rehires all these people. That cracks me up. NXT is mentioning stuff on Raw, and Raw is mentioning stuff on NXT. There's so many, like, it's very fluid there now. But I will say, you talk about what's Thanksgiving dinner going to be like. I worry for Vince because this guy, since When did he start working for his dad? The late 60s, early 70s, as far as I think.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's what, 78, 70?
78.
He just turned 77 today, I believe.
77. Okay.
Okay.
So
happy birthday, Vince.
So for what, 50, 60 years of his life, this is all he's done. And now what do they always say when you retire?
Retirement kills people.
Retirement kills people.
Yeah.
And no person I can think of has dedicated their entire life to their work more than Vince McMahon. God didn't have anything else but this. I mean, it was round the clock.
Yeah.
And now, what's he doing? He's sitting at home. You know he's watching it. You know he's seeing all of his stuff being changed, and he doesn't have that drive. He doesn't have to be at the live shows anymore. He doesn't. Mondays, what are you doing on Monday? I don't have anything to do. I think somebody needs to put not a suicide watch, but just a life watch on Vince and be like
a wellness
watch on Vince. Because
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it gets announced that he's Trump's running mate for 2024. Man, he's got. Like, I'm half kidding, but I'm also 100% fucking serious.
Well, how crazy Linda was in his cabinet, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What a world it would be if Trump and McMahon ran, and then The Rock ran.
Trump,
oh my God.
Dwayne Johnson.
What a cartoon, man.
It wouldn't surprise me with our world.
That's hilarious, man. I just sneezed too, and I'm assuming that was Vince. That's how powerful he sent a sneeze to me because he hates it so much.
Yeah.
That's what
everyone. I think we have debated the topic of did we debate the topic of does these sexual allegations like tarnish his legacy?
I think
we did.
Yeah, we talked about that. But do you think this is what he's known? Do you think this is what fans remember him by, or do you think?
I think fans at large will probably not remember him by it because, like you said, he's given us so much from the early 70s on. But I think that it's obviously not getting picked up by CNN and Fox News, but to be perfectly honest, he's probably got people on the fucking payroll in both of those places. He's one of the richest people in the fucking world. I think that HBO series is going to do. I think it'll be a little bit more than just a regular blemish on him, and I think that it will be what he's remembered as by non-fans 100%. I think once Brian Gumbel gets a hold of it, they're not going to pull any punches.
I'm with you. I think that there's going to be some stuff in there that's probably going to blow some minds.
Yeah, that's the stuff we have to see before we can make any final assessment.
Right. It's going to be like the Michael Jackson documentary.
Yep.
Because right now, I'm sure there's been people that's wanted to say stuff, but he has really just Will Smithed them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And listen, you talk about Michael Jackson, but everybody was taboo on him until the day he died. Everybody started playing his music again. So.
Shit, people weren't even taboo on him before that. There were people. It's the same thing with OJ. You still got people out there. It's like OJ didn't do it. It's like, dude, what fucking planet are you living on?
Yeah,
but they're like the glove didn't fit.
If it doesn't fit, acquit.
He wrote a book that said, "If I did it, okay, man."
So with Vince, just sitting at home and Triple H doing his thing, is Vince does he have any influence in that company that we may not know about?
No, I think they've proven he has
fully out.
I think he's fully out because of what we've seen on our TVs already. If there would have still been remnants left of what Vince did, but there's nothing tied back to him.
Yeah, I think seeing all these guys come back.
Yeah.
With all these guys coming back that he let go.
And especially with Sasha and Naomi coming back, who walked out, which, who knows if it was because of some of the stuff that was coming out, that they walked out in solidarity as women because of it, and now they're coming back. I don't know. I heard that CM Punk was like, everybody's fucking crazy if they think he's out. He's definitely still running shit from behind the scenes. I don't know, man. If this had happened 10 years ago, or maybe 5 years. I mean, when did Nick Khan become, the president or CEO or whatever? The fact that there's an outside somebody without the last name McMahon in there protecting like shareholder and board member interests,
right?
He's out. There's no it's wild. I can't believe they let him trot his ass out on TV there for 2
I know that was mind blowing.
So uncomfortable.
He's got too much to lose if they found out that he was. All his fortune would be gone if they found out he was still.
Oh yeah.
So
and what they're saying now, it's upwards of $20 million he's paid out. Like
yeah. 18 million more than what he paid for WCW. He paid for pussy. That's insane to me.
I bet Eric Bischoff really likes hearing that.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he has any type of control of the company or any say in the company, but I would put money that he still has a couple underlings in there, that he's in their ear. And I think over the next year, you're going to see those people slowly plucked out as they're discovered, like the Bruce Pritchards, like the Johnny Aces.
Kevin Dunn still works there.
That's what I'm shocked by.
Yeah.
I see him being pulled. I just can't. I feel like Triple H can't really. You got to have your own people in there. You want to trust that they're behind you.
Right.
I think there's some people that have been with Vince so long that I don't know if Triple H can totally entrust in those people. I don't know.
I could see Bruce making the cut. I was kind of surprised that when he first came back, I got really excited and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a better product. And he really just kind of let Vince do whatever he wanted to. But Bruce is I don't know. Bruce loves the product still. And I think if somebody gives him the option to do something other than say yes to Vince, he probably will.
Yeah, I think so. I like Bruce. I do think he's a bit of a Vince puppet, but I think that's just from working with the man when he was at the top of his game. I think Bruce would never say this publicly, but I think Bruce knew that he lost a step.
100%.
He knew.
You have to know. You have got to.
That's something on a corporate level like that can't even sniff the light of day of the public. The public can't know that you think that.
Yeah.
So anytime you're asked about that, you have to say the exact opposite, or your job's on the line and all that. So we would never know. I mean, for years, all like fans would say, I know me and Sneed would say it all the time. Like, I wonder what Trips and Stephanie talk about at night when they're laying in bed.
What's that pillow talk?
What's that pillow talk about? Like, and they're like, we got to get this fucking guy out of here.
What can we do?
Yeah.
And then one night they're laying there and Steph's like, I don't know. He paid this lady money. And Trips is like,
leak it.
What? What did you say?
Yeah.
All right. We could sit and talk about Vince and this.
We can.
Hey, this is a great topic, man.
And I'm sure there'll be more topics of this in the future whenever that HBO thing
there's
drops.
going to be so much more with this. We honestly don't feel like we've even scratched the surface.
It's like Vince is gone from the company, but he's not gone from our hearts. He'll always be here.
He's all around this room. So, all right. So if you guys have nothing further to say on this one, we'll move on to the final topic.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go. Final topic of the evening. Johnny Gargano returning. Big move or big meh for WWE?
I think time will tell. I'm so like he did all of his awesome stuff in NXT. That run with Ciampa was really good. They can't redo that now. They can't go back and recapture the magic that they had there. So I'm so torn on what it's going to be, but I'm interested to sit and watch and see because he's great in the ring. I like Gargano. I liked him in NXT. I want to see what he brings to the main roster. I want to see if he get up his game and go a step further than what he's done already. So I like him. I'm here for it. I don't know if it's huge. It's not a needle mover. It's definitely not a needle mover. But, I mean, he's a solid worker that could definitely help that upper mid-class, mid-level card.
Now, I'll go ahead and say I don't – what I know – so, to me, it seems like a meh move. And that's just because I don't know. I know his in-ring stuff is great, but what I've seen from him promo wise, talking wise, and I haven't seen a whole lot, so I'm basing it off of the time that we did
DVRing
NXT when they were doing the way and all that. I did not like it. So as far as in-ring work, though, the guy's solid. But as far as a character, bringing it back, it seems like a meh move.
I think, too, just like I'm with you, Sneed. I think just where they placed it on the show, it kind of had to be a meh. It was like we came back from commercial break and it was just like no response to anything going on. Fucking here's Johnny wrestling. Like, I feel like I was talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, it kind of seemed like the crowd didn't know he was. I was like, I don't think it was that, man. I just think like usually when you bring somebody with that kind of name back into the company, it's like in response to some, chicken shit heel out there cutting a promo. And it was just like, oh, you know what? We're entering the second hour. Here's Johnny. I just feel like maybe the timing in general on the show and then also just with everything else going on kind of lends it to be a little meh. But I mean, I'm with you, man. I mean, honestly, I think I've said for a long time that Ciampa has been my favorite wrestler in WWE, both NXT and the main roster. So, I mean, I was always a way bigger fan of him than Johnny, as I agree. I think his in-ring work is great, but I think there's a little bit left to be desired as far as storytelling there. I mean, not saying that he doesn't have the potential, but I don't know if the timing was right to bring him back right now. Be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah, there's several ways I can look at this. Like, first, DIY in NXT, Ciampa and Gargano, huge fan.
Yeah.
Love that tag team. The DIY FTR, revival feud at the time, some of the best shit. The feud between Gargano and Ciampa before they fucked it up and brought him to the main roster as a tag team, total bonehead move. But that feud that Triple H was building in NXT, phenomenal. The Gargano, Adam Cole trilogy, phenomenal. I mean, but those stories per se were more work rate. It's not like there was a lot of meat on the bone of just storytelling. It was just high level competition, bell to bell greatness. And I think that's awesome. But that was for an NXT crowd that was at the time, that was the super indie. NXT was the super indie. And the fans bought into that stuff. The fans of NXT were those ROH independent fans. I think Trips will give him all the opportunity in the world, and I think he deserves it. But I just wonder if a guy like Gargano can be a big deal on the main roster. With the main roster is a different animal. It's not just the hardcores. You've got a lot of casuals that watch this shit. It's the same way on a smaller scale. AEW doesn't have the scope of WWE, but look at Adam Cole. Adam Cole in NXT was beloved. Yeah. And you can say it's booking, and I agree, it is a big part of booking, but he's not being treated. There was all those reports he's not a top guy. He's not a top guy. And I don't know. I don't know if I see him as being a top guy. And I think the way they brought him out was very, like you guys said, here he is, hit his music. He comes out, he says a few words. What's he, super kick theory? Here's my problem with this. There's a lot of defenders of the way they debuted him you can't make everybody a big debut. And I agree, but there are people that you have to have a big debut with, and there are people that you can just walk out and say, here they are. And I've heard these same people that are being apologists for the way they debuted Gargano on Raw. These same people were the ones skewering Tony Khan for just walking out Christian, for just walking out Mark Henry on double. Mark Henry is a guy you just walk out. He's not in-ring talent. Christian, the way they just walked him out. We've complained about some of the debuts on AEW where it's just like, hey, tune in, there's going to be a big guy, and they just walk them out. I'm never going to defend that shit. I think you should either have surprise entrance entering immediately into a storyline.
Yeah.
I think you should have vignettes building up to your return. Anytime you're in your prime high level talent and you just walk out and say, "Hey, I'm back," it's fucking boring, man.
You know what it is? Meh.
It's meh.
Man.
Meh.
It's a mid return.
Yeah.
If you were going to do that and you want him to get a huge pop, 2 weeks ago, you were in his hometown where the pop would have been much bigger than it was last night in Toronto.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do it there?
Also, yeah, you got Edge and Trish coming out in Toronto. Like, why in the fuck are you going to throw something else in there and overcomplicate it? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe this program with Theory is going to be what we need to see from him to make him a top card guy, because, like, I fucking hate Theory. I mean, he does his job. I think he's supposed to be this, like, Gen Z millennial fucking shit-ass heel. He is. Like, I cannot fucking even stand looking. He has too many teeth in his fucking smile. Like, I can't stand looking at the guy. I mean, he's fine in the ring. I mean, he can go in the ring. And so, I don't know. Maybe there's some meat on the bone there. I'll wait and see. But, yeah, I'm with you. It's pretty mad.
Dude, it just blows my mind. Like, because I knew we had said we were predicting that Gargano was going to go back to WWE. I think it was the smart move for him to make. But I would have loved to have seen him go at least do a little 3-4 month run in GCW or somewhere. Yeah, that would have been really cool. But, you know, I get it. Money, blah, blah, blah. We hear that all the time. I get it. But, man, if you have him pick up where you left, if you want to get me invested immediately, I know Ciampa's tied in with Miz, whatever. If you want to do something different, have him come in and rekindle that feud immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I'm in. Like, if he can, I don't care that Ciampa's with Miz and all that shit's going on. You want to blow up something and really set some hooks in on me? Have Gargano come out of nowhere and rekindle that feud that never really got to be finished correctly on the main level. Then you have that history. Then those fans are bought in, and even the casuals will be like, what's going on? Because I know a lot of people were saying that pop. Some people were saying it was meh, and some people were saying, no, it was a good pop because they were chanting Johnny Wrestling. I think it was middle of the road. I don't think it was shit, but I don't think it was like the greatest pop ever.
I mean, it got louder once he was out there for a minute and riled him up.
Right. Yeah, he had to rile them up.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. Once people realized who it was, like, it shouldn't have to get to that when somebody's coming back or debuting. You know, that pop should be as soon as he walks out.
To me, a pop is more than just noise. I should be able to mute my TV and look at the audience and see them losing their minds.
Yeah.
There was a chant going on. There was a roar, but if you muted your TV and just watched that crowd, there was a lot of people looking at their phones and not giving a shit when he was talking. A lot. And that just shows me that that's the casual fan base that, hey, we didn't watch NXT Black and Gold.
Right.
Who is this guy?
Yeah. I
love Gargano's in ring, but goddamn, he's not a star.
You got to give me some. You got to give me something, man.
He's not the needle mover.
You got to do more than walk out and be like,
hey guys, I'm here. Here in a couple weeks, I'm gonna wrestle a match. Get ready, it'll be good.
It's like, cool.
Okay, then shut the fuck. Don't get on TV until you do it.
Right.
Just
how about come out and put a lead pipe to Ciampa's dome?
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
The other thing they could have done, which would have been interesting, is sign him now and tell him to go make your name on the indies. Go work GCW. We'll sign you now, but go out and make your name for yourself so when we bring you back, you have a following that you've just made out there also.
Yeah.
Give me a new wrinkle. That's I hate when guys return and they've been gone a minute and they're just the same old song and dance, because he was giving us a new wrinkle in NXT before it got turned into Nickelodeon. You know, when he was in the way, I didn't like it, but at least he was trying something different. The smarmy heel. Like, I would love to see him being a heel with a mean streak. if he came out and attacked Ciampa, or if he was the baby, like something different. I don't know. It just seemed like here I am again. It just seemed kind of tired and lazy to me.
You know what they should have done, Tom? I think you may be honest. I think they should have signed him and let him go do like the Matt Cardona deal with AEW, where he did a couple of matches, and then immediately come back to Raw, get him on a Dynamite once, maybe twice, have a match,
everybody,
and then go straight back.
I would have sent him to do just like a 2-month run with maybe a trilogy with Blake Christian and GCW.
Yeah.
Put on a couple indie barn burners to get those indie guys like really fired up on holy shit. We've never seen Gargano like this, and then send him to the main roster. Then I would have been like,
exactly. It would have been something fun, something different. We would have seen him wrestling before he came back there. Like it would have been more unexpected. We were all sitting around just thinking, when is he going to show up on our TVs? We know he's coming.
He just seemed like a guy who's been on paternity leave.
Yeah.
Maternity leave. I just had a baby. I'm coming back now, guys. Like, I don't know.
I think you did it best. He came back and just,
hey
guys,
hey,
I'm here. Good to see you again.
All right. Does anybody have anything final to say before we wrap up?
Nope.
All right. Hey, Tom, do me a favor real quick.
Yeah.
Then put your head down just a touch. Go down. I just want like your head to go. Anyway, it's nothing. It would make the armpit. It looked like armpit hair. With the little tuft on top.
Gotta go down and to the left. Yeah.
Very funny, Sneed.
All right. Do we have a round robin to end us?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No round robin.
All right. Well,
Tom, do you have a round robin?
No, you should have told me. I would have prepared one.
Okay, I have one.
All right, go ahead, Sneed.
Peek behind the curtain. It's Wednesday.
Right.
We're about to watch Dynamite. Does MJF come back tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking no. I think they're saying
I hope not.
I hope you're right, Colton.
I hope not. Yeah.
I'm saying no.
Okay.
I say no.
I hope you're both right.
The smarter thing to do is to hold off.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I kind of have a little bit of a fear they might, but I'm going to say no.
I have this because there's reports coming out that Mox and Punk will be the main event at All Out regardless of tonight. So I just smell shenanigans in the main event tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, Colton, tell everybody where they can find you, man. It's been a lot of fun having you on.
Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. I've had a blast. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Mullet.mania is my handle. Keep an eye on there because I am going to be entering a mullet competition nationwide here in the next couple of weeks. I'll take the votes.
Is there a way we can vote or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll post it all on there.
Okay.
They did like a kids like a kids and a teens competition the last couple of weeks that everybody I know who knows that I have a mullet sent me. And then, they posted it the other day that they're going to do the submissions up to August 31st. So it's going to be, I think mulletchampusa.com. I'll put it on my social media, but that's Instagram's about. I'm horrible at social media. That's about the only one I'm active on. So
awesome, dude. Well, if you will do it, we definitely want to have you on again in the future. This was a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, yeah, if you guys are having, I might just start calling in voicemail and making that my segment on the flagship.
Do it. You'll be on there every week.
Work yourself into a shoot, man. Get yourself your own segment.
Yeah. See, that's a smart, people aren't taking that into. You could have your own segment on the flagship. All you got to do is call.
Yeah.
Everybody call the number, man. You'll 100% get played on the show next week. So
give us the number.
304-404-2004. Give us a ring.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap us up for this edition of the Turnbuckle Debate. Make sure you guys are following everything we do over at theturnbuckletavern.com. You can find everything there. Tom, we got a couple of seconds. Go ahead and get your shit in.
GOG Fit Kid on Twitter and Instagram, and check out this past Friday's Turnbuckle Sessions. Mike Belcaster rips apart this Sting versus Triple H match at WrestleMania.
All right. Court is dismissed.